Welcome to My Safe Word is More. My name is Al Jackson. I am joined by my incredible co-host. You know her from 2 seasons of Survivor. You know her from 1 season of Amazing Race, but you also know her as being the Duchess of this podcast. Corinne Kaplan, how are you?
Oh, I'm very well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to point out to our swimmers that noticeably the buttery voice of one Mr. Chris Clark is missing. He's out for this episode and the next one. So, you're going to have to imagine what his final thoughts might be.
Yeah.
But I have a lot to get to. You asked how I'm doing. I've had better days.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to talk about, I love talking, I don't know about love, but I give you guys like my medical ailments only if I can find humor in them. And also because I think it's like, I don't know, it's a vulnerability and I don't think everybody talks about that stuff. So,
well, when you're really nervous about something, I do feel like you joke about it. That's how some people handle stress, because any medical procedure, I don't care how cool you act. When you walk into that doctor's office and it's like, oh, I'm going to be passed out in here in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's daunting. So it's like, if you've cracked some jokes, you've at least kind of alleviated the initial stress.
Well, I just think that I'm probably not the only person that's dealing with this. So we're going to talk about it a little bit, but I promise it'll be funny. And then we're going to do that for a little. Then I've got a Go Naked that has something to do with it. I've got a Facebook Marketplace that's pertaining to this. And then if there's time, I'd like to pitch a new segment that is just random thoughts that I've had. Now, I realize that's not the best name or that catchy, but what was happening is I often keep a running log in my phone of things I think of because I have a podcast, and sometimes I can like flesh those out and make them into a segment. Not always, but some of the time. And then sometimes they just sit in that kiosk. So it's kind of along the lines of things I don't want to hear about, but this is just like an overall encompassing like random thoughts. And I think like I basically stumbled upon that note section on my phone because I went to go add something and there was so much there. And I thought, why not just see if this lands? So we're going to talk about that with whatever time is left. So,
and are we going to talk about the fact that when we had our pre-production meeting, which I guess you can call us talking, I said that I do that exact same thing, and I have random thoughts as well, so I can contribute to that.
And I could see that, like, as a stand-up comic, that has to be. This is probably like the thing I would think stand-up comics do is like, okay, we're starting with the basis of something, like something's irking me, or I find something ridiculous, and then like you just keep it in your phone to see if you can like.
And why the distance? You're one of us. You've done 10 minutes. You've done 15 minutes.
Right.
Headlining set.
When I was listening to Jim and he's like, so at 8 minutes, you were still killing it, right? And I was like, yeah, I was. It's like, all right. By the way, I was killing it at a brewery where people were also playing like Yahtzee.
That's how you get good.
Yeah.
That's actually how I got good at stand-up. I started kind of pre-internet-y. It was there, but people didn't use it. And so I started doing stand-up. I was going to bars and nightclubs, and it was horrible because people didn't know there was going to be stand-up. Right. People hate you because you're not good and they can't watch the game. And so I started doing stand-up with people with their back turned to me, playing video poker. So when I first went to a comedy club, I was like, this is easy. They came for this? Their faces, they're not playing pool. Right. So like you went in through the fire. So you're a good stand-up.
Yeah. Yeah. The people before me were pretty terrible. So I think when they got to me, I was like so much markedly better. The guy before me did a joke, got halfway through and was like, I'm so sorry, can I start over?
You never do that.
Obviously. I mean,
what you do is you let the joke bomb and you blame the audience for being dumb. Yeah. That's what you do. You go, yo, y'all didn't get that?
I mean, by the time I got up, people were like, this hero.
Yeah.
Chappelle over here.
Joan Rivers, reincarnated.
So, all right. So we're going to get right into the problem I'm having. So what happened is when I went back for my anal fissure like final exam where they like, say, okay, you're fine, everything's fine. I had felt like in my lower, as they say in my lower right quadrant, there was like a golf ball. And I've thought,
oh my God.
Yeah. And it was hard like a golf ball. And I just was like, oh, that must be a hernia. Now, do I know anything about hernias? No. But I just assumed.
You can Google.
What I did was I just decided it was a nothing burger and I would just like ignore it and see if it went away. So it had been there for several months. By the time I go for this follow-up, I'm like, hey, I don't want to accuse you of anything, but it would seem that you tinkered with my asshole and then something got pushed out.
I don't know if those two things are related.
Well, this doctor who is one
It's
of the
not your body is in a storage closet.
right, it was a
Okay.
Jenga piece, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, that's not my department, but let me see what you're talking about. I was like, I am embarrassed to even bring it up because it's obviously nothing. And he's like, that's not nothing. And I was like, oh, okay. What do you think it is? And he's like,
What if you just burst into tears?
well, it was close to that because he goes, you know, he's basically like, he's trying to say this is urgent without saying this is urgent. So I said, oh, I have an appointment with my primary care doctor for my physical in like a month. So I'll talk to her then. And he's like, would you excuse me? And then I hear him, which I should not have heard. He goes to his office, but like, I guess the door was open to his office and the sound carried. And he calls my doctor. He has her like paged out of a patient room and he's like, we have an emergency with Corinne
Oh my
and you need
God.
to see her tomorrow. She has like a very large mass in her abdomen. And so I don't know what my doctor says. And he rolls back in the
Did
room.
he say it's probably a hernia? He didn't, did he?
No,
Okay.
he sure didn't.
Do you think other doctors call other doctors about hernias?
Well, I'm making jokes. I'm like, maybe you left a surgical instrument in me, eh? And so, so he goes, all right, so you're going to see Dr. Pamela tomorrow at 3 p.m. And I was like, oh, that's unnecessary. I will see, I got an appointment in a month. Like, I'm like, I feel terrible that I've inconvenienced this doctor who's a friend. Like, I like her very much. And he's like, this isn't an option, Corinne. Whatever you have doing at 3 p.m. tomorrow, cancel it. And you're going to go see her. You have to have an ultrasound immediately.
Did
or
you show him your
CT
phone
scan.
and said drinks with the girls?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing an OnlyFans where I had this protrusion. So I go to see my doctor and then I get even more jokey. So I go to my doctor and I said, and I keep doing this thing, which I think people will sympathize with, where I'm one of those people that thinks death is cheating me. I'm never, ever alarmed about anything. I am the opposite of somebody that would like immediately jump to the conclusion that they're dying, even if it seems like that could be the case.
Right.
So I go in, I was like, Pamela, listen, obviously this is nothing, but why don't you take a look? And she has the same fucking fear of God that he did. And she's like, I'm going to send you for a CT scan tomorrow. They're going to call you tonight and you're going to get it scheduled tomorrow. And I was like, oh, I don't think like maybe next week. And she goes, no, it'll be tomorrow.
When you normally schedule something with your doctor, what is the time that it takes? How many weeks?
Months.
And here you've seen 3 doctors in 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but she does the same thing. She calls the CT scan people and puts it as like a dire emergency. So they have to see me like immediately. They can't just be like, oh, we have an appointment. No. They like, I get like moved to the front of the queue. So I get this CT scan, but on my way out of her office, I said to her, I go, well, I guess we'll figure out if it's, we got to put my affairs in order or we party to the benigns. And she was like, nothing about this is funny.
Did she say that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did that scare you or you were like,
no, I was like, she has a shit sense of humor. And so I walked out. I was like, this is stupid. So I get this CT scan. And when I'm getting the scan, the person scanning is like, wow, you must be very uncomfortable. And I was like, I mean, and so this is the other thing my proctologist asked me. He goes, what prompted you to do something about it? Because you could feel it. And I said, well, I have to go to the bathroom like 8 or 9 times a night because whatever it is pressing on my bladder. And he's like, well,
whatever it is.
yeah, because I knew it had something to do with my bladder because I had to pee constantly. Like it's like 2 sips of water, my bladder won't hold anything. Like it just becomes like you have to pee so badly because it seemed like this was.
Yeah, it's a problem because that's all your bladder is supposed to do is hold things.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, it's a little annoying, but
that's like your gas tank not being able to hold gas.
Yes.
But other than that,
everything else is running smoothly.
Yeah, look at the windshield wipers.
Right. So I go through the scan and they basically at the time don't tell me anything. They tell me that the report will be ready within 24 hours and then my doctor will call with the results. So I get a notification in like my patient portal that my results are ready and there's nothing there.
Was the song See You with the Crossroads playing by Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, I wish I could sing better. That's such a good reference, dude. So I see in patient portal the shit is ready. So I call her office. Obviously, some MA answers, and I was like, "Hey, my results are ready. All I can see is mass lower right quadrant." So obviously that can't possibly be the full results. And she goes, oh, let me click on it. And she goes, yes, yes, there are more results. And I said, well, yeah, I would hope so. I mean, I don't know what a CT scan costs, but it ain't free. So, and she goes, I can't release these to you. The doctor's gonna have to call you. And I'm like, oh, come on.
What?
Yes. So after this break, I will tell you what my dramatic
I
results
can't
are.
wait that long.
We'll see you in a sec. So I get a hold. So now the doctor has to call me. And it's one of those things where like you don't want to miss that call, right? Because like
Yeah.
this is my only opportunity. It's so hard to get a hold of physicians for why, I don't know. And so I'm in the middle of a lunch and my phone rings. And I had told Elise was with me, and I was like, I'm gonna have to take this call. If the phone rings while we're doing this presentation, I just have to like leave and take the call. Cause like whatever it is, I just have to know. So I walk out and I'm like, okay, like what is it? And she's like, you have massive uterine fibroids. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, my understanding is that those are not, not going to kill me. And she's like, they are pressing on your bladder and you're going to have them taken care of. And I was like, oh, all right. So like a laser, I don't know. Is there a medication? And she's like, it's a hysterectomy. And I was like, huh?
Oh my God.
Right. Not great. So whatever. That is what she tells me. Now I go to see an OBGYN to figure out like if I'm going to get a hysterectomy or not. And that begins a whole cascade of other things. So I go into this physician's office, and first of all, the very first time I'm in there, they make me fill out, it's fine. If you want me to fill out things online, that's fine. That means I don't have to fill out things when I get here. However, when you ask me to fill out umpteen pages of shit online.
How many are we talking?
Oh, 20 pages online. My driver's license number, like how many ever conditions, every surgery I've ever had, like everything you can think of, you could ask, and all the HIPAA protection and all the signing the waiver of the consent for the financials, like everything, which is fine. Okay, I did that. I get there, and then they hand me a clipboard with all the same papers again. And I'm like, is this a library with a Dewey Decimal System? Like, why are you handing me paper? Why? That's such a bad look. Like, I already filled
Right.
everything. If there's one or two things that you need that I didn't fill out, by all means, hand me an iPad and I will DocuSign them. But paper is weird.
It just makes you lose confidence if they
Right.
take your paperwork and open a file cabinet and
Do you
look
understand?
for a K
They
like
leg-
it's soup. That's weird.
They legally cannot do that because electronic medical records are necessary. So what that really means is in my shitty handwriting where I scribbled all this information, someone has to then turn that over and put it in the computer. It has to be like
What?
transcribed into the computer. Yeah. Either that or it has to be scanned in, but it can't, there's no such thing. Everything's electronic, which is why you fill it out on electronics. So anyways, I fill all this out, whatever. I go see this woman and she seems lovely. I liked her a lot. Like I tried to get past some of the office nuances. But she says to me, I have to have a vaginal ultrasound because they need to see exactly where they're located. And that will determine like what is possible surgically. Really, in the end, it's only a hysterectomy. You can't, if I were to have them remove these, because they're huge, one's 8 by 9 centimeters, one's 7 by 8 centimeters, they're big.
Jesus.
So to get them out, I would have like a C-section scar. So fuck that, just take the uterus. All right. So anyways, I had to get this
By
ultrasound.
the way, we got your new t-shirt. Fuck that, take the uterus.
Yeah.
Keep me beautiful.
My body, my choice.
Yeah.
Take the uterus. So I was pretty chill about all this. I mean, it's annoying. I won't be able to work out for like 6 weeks, but like it is what it is, right? I'm not dying. It's just, this has to be done. Anyways, the second time I go back after this ultrasound that she demanded I get there and I'm waiting for about 30 minutes. And this woman comes out into the waiting room. I'm the only person in the waiting room. And she does this. She goes, corny? Is there a corny? And I just look down because, no. I'm not doing it.
I'm not addressing that.
No. And then she just walks up to me and she goes, is your name Corny? And I said, no, I don't, that's not anyone's name. And she's like, oh, how do you pronounce it? I'm like, why don't you look at it one more? We're talking about a woman who can't read my name, like spell it out, read it.
But a woman the reason I'm good with names is I taught middle school. And so I saw so many names from other countries, hyphenated names. This woman does the same thing all day. She sees names. Sometimes it's Mary Smith. Sometimes it's Bakhtari Bogdanovich. Either way, you see a lot of names. She has definitely seen Corinne before. She's definitely seen it. It's not like it's a weird name where there's like an apostrophe in the middle of it. And it's like our friend Jaray, where it's like, is it Jar Ray? Like even then you should be able to nail it. But like there's no reason for corny.
No.
There's no why.
No. So, all right. So I'm already a little perturbed. And, but by the way, I remember her name. I doubt she listens to this podcast. Her name was Capricia.
All right.
And so Capricia brings me back. And I now remember, I've waited for 30 minutes. And even though I was only there 4 days prior, they make me refill out the paperwork. And they explain to me that every time I come, I have to fill out the paperwork. Date of last period, there's 75 symptoms. Have you had any of these? And I thought there's something so wrong here. Anyways, I get back there.
Just inefficient.
Extremely. And Capricia says to me, she stops me right when we get behind the curtain, right? And she goes, so the doctor isn't here.
Excuse me?
That's right. She goes, she had a labor and delivery and she had to leave, so she's not here. And I'm like, well, did you know she wasn't here when you asked me to refill out 10 pages of paperwork? Or when I was sitting in the waiting room for 30 minutes? Did she leave right now? Because if she did, what she should have done, which a normal doctor would do, is walk out into the waiting room and be like, I'm so sorry. I have a labor and delivery. We will get you rescheduled. You're telling me she just Houdini'd out the back door while I was in the waiting? I don't think so. I think she left a solid hour ago.
You know what she did? It's like that, what a poor, sad concert promoter has to do when he has to come out and tell a packed showroom that the Wu-Tang Clan it never showed, but they've already let the 2 opening acts go on in an hour. People have been drinking. He comes out, hey, what's up, Red Rocks? So
all right. So this place, one of the shadiest things about it is that, so obviously in my day-to-day life, I have to keep it fucking cool, right? I have a professional job. I am not the friend. I don't scream at my friends. I'm very and then I get in a situation like this and I just lose it. Mind you, I didn't come for a checkup. I came for a pretty serious reason and I'm having a major organ removed. Can people be a little more compassionate? So well, we could schedule you for a telehealth appointment in middle of next week. And I'm like, okay, all right, then I guess I'll do that. And then basically I have a telehealth appointment and she opens that call with, so remind me what we're talking about today. And I was like, the major surgery, the $85,000 surgery I'm going to be having here.
She admitted she didn't know.
She didn't look at her notes. And then I said to her, the one question I did have for her was, if I decide to go through this surgery with you and you schedule me, do I get bumped if there's a labor and delivery? Because I used to work in OB offices. I understand how that works. There's somebody on call. You don't always get the doctor that's been working with you. You get whoever's on call.
Right.
The surgery would always preempt a labor and delivery. And she goes, so on Wednesdays, yes, but on Fridays, I'm the only doctor on call. So I would have to take that labor and delivery and we would reschedule your surgery.
Well, what are the chances of a baby being born on a Friday?
Right.
That's so weird.
Yeah. So
those people are usually in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah. I can count on one hand how many babies are born
Friday delivery.
So anyways, needless to say, I begin slowly freaking out, but I'm trying to because it's the easiest thing would just be to go to her. I have everything's scheduled. Anyways, I decided to get a second opinion.
Did you start freaking out and she picked your chin up and she was like, look at me, corny.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay.
So I get a second opinion. And in order to do that, I need to have my ultrasound results sent to them and my CT scan. But my CT scan was through my very normal primary care doctor. She's got the ultrasound. I call the office and there's a call center in Galveston, Texas. You can't get a hold of anyone.
Oh my God.
And I was like, can you please send my results over? I'm getting a second opinion. And I call back the day before my appointment and I'm like, I just want to make sure the results were sent. And they said, oh, we can't verify that. And I was like, what do you mean? Because they're faxed, which is electronic, not an actual fax machine. I go, you just look in the file. Did you send my results anywhere or not? And they're like, I'm sorry, could you just call the office they were supposed to go to and maybe they'll know? Fuck.
Why can't you? I could even see if your spouse wanted to know because that is personal information. Why can't you know?
They're my results.
Do the HIPAA laws apply to you?
Al, I don't know, but I was so infuriated. So I go see this woman who's way further away, but she was a recommendation from a friend of mine who is a saint for doing this. And she tells me when I go in there, she goes, and also I have to do a uterine biopsy on you. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, you're not going to like it, but insurance doesn't cover this procedure without it. So if you do not do a uterine biopsy to make sure there is no cancer, If they go in and start fucking around, then the cancer proliferates. Then you have a much bigger problem. So insurance doesn't cover it without that biopsy. And I was going to get this procedure without that biopsy and then be just stuck with the bill, which is
Oh
very high.
my God.
I know. So anyways, needless to say, I am getting a hysterectomy. I'm still waiting for the scheduling person for this one.
How do you feel about that, honestly?
I feel just sort of like I'm pretty. I asked one of my doctors today. I was like, "How much does your uterus weigh? Like, how much will I lose?" Because I thought it was gonna be very flat, considering there's a whole bunch of shit going on in there. You know, I don't have any connection to my uterus. It's fine. It's just I will tell you, my biggest fear is that I know that there are certain types of Alzheimer's and dementia. I don't know which one it is that anesthesia will
Increase the
yeah.
probability of?
No, it will if you were gonna get it, it'll onset like you could wake up from anesthesia and have no like you're a different person.
Oh, well, the podcast isn't stopping. So don't try and pull that bullshit. I'll be like, hey, Corinna's here. She'll be asking me what my name is. But you know what, guys? You guys are swimmers for life. You signed up for this. All right. Well, you know, well,
So
I'm here. SARS here.
yeah,
Will
I'll
you
be
promise
fine.
this on camera?
The what? What? Oh, I thought you want me to like live feed this operation.
No, I'm about to ask you something,
Yeah, of
and I want
course.
you to
Sure, tell me.
honestly answer.
What?
Will you let us take care of you a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I can't lift anything over 10 pounds.
Oh, well, I was gonna make a dick joke, but you're my sister. It's you know, honestly, like you're a close friend, and like I don't want you to like hire some home health aide that knows what they're doing. Like, let me and Sarah come over and take care of you. We love this kind of shit.
Mm.
We'll go through your stuff when you're asleep. It'll be
Right.
dope. Yeah. We'll fuck on all your other rooms.
Pillage all of my
Don't go
Ambien.
upstairs. Tee hee hee.
All right. Well, I do have a very fun go naked that pertains to this when we come back from this break.
Get it after this
Now.
break.
Okay, so in lieu of my whole hysterectomy debacle, I thought I would share a go naked I saw.
We need some joy.
Yes, and also I really was like, I just searched the search function for hysterectomy, and there's tons of people. I know it's very common, so that's one of the reasons I wanted to tell it on here. I feel like there's, you know, for the 3 female listeners,
We have female listeners.
we do. Don't you men have
Franny,
sisters?
Erica.
There you go,
Sar,
Eliza. Yeah.
Sonia.
Yeah, there you go. So anyways, please write in if you have any experiences or you just want to give me your well wishes. I will take them. Okay, so I saw this and I thought it was funny. So this person writes in, okay, my boyfriend and I are going on a 7-day cruise on the 25th.
Bad idea.
Right. Off the bat.
Off the bat.
Right.
You can't enjoy anything for 7 straight days.
Certainly not a shitty cruise. I scheduled the vacation as part of their Christmas gift before being told I need a hysterectomy. I just had my hysterectomy on April 15th. So understand that April 15th was the hysterectomy. The 25th is the cruise. You're bedridden for 2 weeks and it's 6 weeks total healing before you can lift over 10 pounds. This crazy bitch is like,
She went?
I just had my hysterectomy on April 15th. I'm looking at excursions. We're going to Nassau, Grand Turk, and Amber Cove. There are some zip line and waterfall excursions in the Dominican Republic, and I really want to do one. But it says it's not for people who had surgery within the last 6 months. But
So
she
this
just
is an
had it 2
ongoing
weeks
problem.
ago. So she says, but my question is, if I'm not jumping off waterfalls, I feel like I'll be fine. Has anyone ever done one of these excursions after a hysterectomy? No, bitch. No.
That like what a unique category that she thinks like that there is. There's like excursions for people that are you know, not with full sight, excursions for people that might be wheelchair bound. And if you happen to have a hysterectomy, here are the ones that you can do.
No, the best part is she specifically wants to go ziplining. To explain one of the reasons why you can't lift something over 10 pounds is like there's a whole bunch of missing stuff in the middle of you. So in order for your entire vagina not to fall out, or as they say, prolapse, it has to be stitched to the wall of like below your stomach. And those stitches take 6 weeks to heal. You know what you shouldn't be doing? Hanging from a zip line where gravity can just take hold.
Dare I say the full effects of gravity,
Yeah.
because there's nothing under your feet. Because here's a little science nerd coming out of me. When you're on the ground, there's something called the normal force that pushes up as gravity
Yes.
pushes down. Once you remove that, Now it's just gravity, like
It would,
rubbing its palms, like, oh shit,
yeah, it would be like,
cool.
hey, I'm going to a carnival. Is it cool if I get on the Gravitron?
That's really
It's the
exactly,
same shit.
exactly what she
So
asked.
I like, I will keep watching this for the follow up as to whether this woman is back in the
Yes,
hospital.
look for a subject line, my second hysterectomy.
I mean, and also, by the way, now you have a medical emergency in Charks. Like,
Right.
this is the stupidest
It's
question
not
I've
great
ever
when your
heard.
doctor's wearing flip-flops.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Okay, so we're gonna round it out today with some random thoughts. I want to get your take on them. I feel like they're very random, so they're all over the place, but um, I think you're gonna have an opinion on some of them. So we're just gonna sprinkle a few of these into the end of this episode.
Let's do
And
it.
I would like to encourage you, if you have things you wanted to talk to me about, you
And
have
a
random
random
thoughts.
thought specifically, because I'd love to just gather everyone's like random thoughts, because everybody's got to have these like little pockets of like, you don't really know where to put it. You can't put it in a conversation, but it's something you think about.
Oh yeah, or you think about it like more than once. So you can write into us at my safe word is more advice at gmail.com. You could always call our voicemail number. Just get in touch with us. You can DM us on my safe word is more Instagram. But I'd be happy to hear your thoughts as long as they're funny and interesting. So my first one, this is not in any specific order. I'm tired of being asked to round up. Have you noticed now, every grocery store you go to,
Mm-hmm.
round up for children's education, round up for the wildfires, round up. If I round up every time I'm checking out, I'm just spending money all the time. Every time
All
I
the
check out.
time.
But there's no it's always because I shop at Sprouts every day. You know, I go to the grocery store every day. Every time. Would you like to round up for children's education? I said no, motherfucker. I said no.
You know what's crazy is like even I still won't do it. I still won't round up for children's education, but at least it's specific. When you go to Macy's, they just say, will you round up for Colorado
Yes.
teens?
Yeah.
I'm like, which teens are we talking
Or
about?
they'll just say the state of Colorado, and I'm like, what? No. But I don't know. If you're doing this and you're rounding up, A, write it, and B, we're not friends. Second on the list, I don't know what the word bespoke means,
Ooh,
and I refuse to find out.
bespoke. I know that I've heard it used, but it's always by somebody that's got a white wig on and it's in the 1800s.
No, usually bespoke nowadays, it's like, oh, this is a handcrafted and bespoke suit.
Oh,
Or
bespoke.
yeah, like artisan. Like bespoke is a word. I know I could just Google it. I will not.
If you were on a date with a guy that's going perfect and he worked bespoke into a normal sentence and he pulled it off, would you still be like, I can't trust this guy because he used bespoke in a real sentence? Or would you
Yeah,
be turned on?
no,
Like, oh,
I wouldn't be turned on. But my understand, like I find that I see it like advertised, like things on Instagram, like these. I might, I don't know. I say I don't know what the word means, so I might be even like reiterating this wrong. But it'll be like these handcrafted and bespoke crocheted anal plugs. Like it's just bespoke. And I, in my head, just thought it meant someone has spoken for you. So someone has like custom made something for you, maybe. I don't know. I don't care. I don't plan to find out. Moving on.
I like how we're not going to tell our viewers like what it
No,
means.
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It's a stupid word. I'm not using it. Okay. I recently my father changed the channel on my TV, and sometimes I'll just turn the TV on and whatever's on is on, and there's like 3,000 channels. And now I don't know how to find the channel, the Dateline channel that I was previously on. Well, I was on a channel called I Survived, which is a great podcast and show. However, I can't find it again because there's 3,000 channels, and obviously there's no fucking search function on my Samsung. So I'm now stuck on Intervention.
Oh,
And the worst part is that I liked the show so much years ago that it's just reruns of I already know what happens.
I don't know. I can do a rerun. I've seen the Intervention where the girl was addicted to whatever that can you use to clean your keyboard.
No, that's my
was
strange addiction.
no.
Oh,
This was Intervention because she was hitting that so much. She like blew, because it's like, I guess the same thing as huff and paint,
Yes,
basically.
yes.
And they said that like she was just going to Office Max and just buying all those. And I just think every day she must have gone and the same guy checked her out and was
Yeah,
like,
I knew exactly what
wow.
was up. Yeah. Well, what my question is that why are they surprised when they're interventioned? What did they think was happening? And then who are the friends that don't get top billing that are also implicated? And why would they sign up for this? So like they'll be like, oh, let's say, you know, Mandy is going through, she's got bulimia, and then her friend Ashley also has bulimia, and they throw up together. But Ashley, the show isn't intervening for her. So the
Right.
other one that's got the problem, her family doesn't care, or she's also not, the episode's not named after her. She's just like a plus one character, but she's got the same fucking problem.
I do like that dynamic though, because you can always tell when the other person that they call out really does have an addiction, because it'd be like if you had an intervention for me and I go, all right, Corinne, you had a bottle of mezcal at my house last time. And they're like, we're not talking about me right
Yeah.
now. And that's how you know it's like, oh, this could have been you too, buddy.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then sometimes they'll get bombarded on the intervention with the friend, and then they just have the friend wait outside. Like,
It's their party friend.
yeah.
That they have to
Yes.
lure them to the Howard Johnson.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What did they think was going to go on in that meeting room at 2:30 on a Wednesday? They're like, oh, my dad's in here.
Yeah. Like, what? Yeah, exactly. Why am I in the I don't know, the concierge suite or whatever you call it of like a Howard Johnson?
Well, that's a bigger thing you bring up, because when I was on the road, I'm staying in smaller Midwestern towns, Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Have you seen an intervention?
I did not see an intervention. One time I accidentally walked into one of those kid pageant catwalk things.
Oh yeah.
And it was
yeah.
really weird.
Yeah.
But
I've
like,
seen those.
yeah, it's really weird. But like, I'm like, there's always a meeting room. And I'm like, who's having a meeting in Richmond, Indiana
Right.
at the Doubletree? Like, what, like, who is that? Make more bedrooms.
Yeah.
What are you doing? No one's meeting here. There's no businesses here.
Show intervention is Candy Finnegan and
That's
Jeff Von Vunderen.
Candy Finnegan. Yes.
Okay, I will give you, I'm just gonna randomly pick one more here. I find it very depressing that kittens are very cute and then adult cats are gross. That must be hard.
Well, doesn't that strike the same pattern as people?
Yeah.
Because when do they say there's like an exact number when you're not a cute kid anymore? I think they said 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have pitched it way lower than that.
I mean, I think a 6, even a 6-year-old.
6 is the cutoff. 5 is the last time they're cute.
5, and then 6 is like, oh, you got a little dude that's going to be at a pub in 15 years.
Yeah. And then, oh, you know what? I'm going to throw this one in because we're talking about kids. I like seeing, so I don't like children's pictures on Facebook. I find it annoying. I didn't befriend your child. I befriended you. Let your child have their own Facebook page. However, I like this. I like seeing kids' prom pics because this is the season now.
Right.
Because I know that the parent proudly displaying them has no idea how many drugs and virginities are about to be taken.
Yeah.
It's a before picture.
Yeah.
Like, this is my sweet daughter, Caitlin. Oh, she's about to get fucked.
Wow. Yeah,
she's definitely about to lose her virginity.
You should stop leaving that comment underneath every people. Yeah. People are like, "Who are you?" And they're like, "I'm just telling the truth here."
Yeah.
It's so weird because when I was on tour these last couple weeks, when I would go to the hotels and I'd be in an elevator, I was always, especially coming back from the show, on an elevator with 3 couples, and you could just feel the energy about like who was gonna try and fuck and who was definitely gonna fuck and who definitely wasn't. And like you feel that all in the elevator. You're like, oh, this couple for sure. They're getting off on floor 7. I'll see you tomorrow. And then this guy's like, am I gonna close the deal? It's like, probably, if you don't know by now, you're not. You're not, bro.
I mean, it's just if you're going to your prom and you haven't figured out how to smuggle alcohol or drugs in, you're not doing it right. Yeah. You should have learned that at homecoming your freshman year. By prom, you should have graduated to fucking Molly. Like, all these parents proudly taking pictures of their children. I'm like, they even have a designated driver. We have a limo taking us. Of course we're going to get fucked up.
Well, I don't know if it's been off camera or on, but I don't know if I told you about my biggest homecoming fail. I wouldn't even call it a fail. I took a girl and her name was Fancy. Did I tell you that?
Yes.
I took Fancy, and when I won,
I only remember because her name was Fancy.
Her name was Fancy, and I won a TV at After Prom, and I was going to give it to her as like a gentleman. And so I give her this TV, and she's like, "Okay, you could take me home." And I borrowed my dad's 4Runner, and she lived in like the hood, the way like suburban white people picture the hood. There was like bums like warming their hands in trash cans with like literally like railroad tracks. And she got out and she's like, "Are you going to help me with the TV?" And I didn't. I just let her walk.
She probably got robbed.
I don't know what happened. I think she's okay. I'm not getting. What was I going to do? I will post a picture of me in front of my dad's 4Runner for homecoming, and then you tell me what that dude was going to do. Should have somebody come to take that TV. It would just been 2 people getting robbed. Sorry, Fancy.
Okay, well, guys, thanks for sticking with us. We'd love to hear from you if you have other thoughts. And
And Fancy, if she's doing
oh
okay.
yeah, actually, Fancy, why don't you check in?
And with that, I mean, that's why people listen to this podcast, Corinne, because it's not a podcast about life. That'd be ridiculous.
It's a podcast about a girl named Corny.
And Fancy. Love y'all.